Battle of the Challenges podcast. David Lauer.
And Vincent Cloud.
Yeah, that's right. I got top billing this time.
And it's the episode 12. I'll call it the final part 1, the Janky Games.
The Janky Carnival Games.
Yeah, and this is the halftime report, basically, where a final has been divided in 2.
And not only 2, TJ said there was 5 stages, and we've only gone through 1 stage.
Yeah, just one stage. Are
so,
you saying that there might be 4 more episodes?
Yeah, I don't know. But apparently the next stages will be a little bit shorter, I'm assuming. Perhaps cut off by the Gestapo, but...
A limo shows up, a stretch limo.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
I've been in the stretch Hummer, actually.
They're in the limo. It's pretty cool as shit. This is the final man. So they arrive, not in the city, outside of the city. They arrive at this abandoned complex, this abandoned compound. And I love it. I love the look of it. A tip of the hat to production for finding such a cool place.
This just wasn't any compound. You remember what he said?
What did he say?
It was a CIA complex.
CIA complex?
Yeah.
What?
This is in Berlin, Germany.
Yeah.
This was a CIA complex. The CIA, not every country doesn't have a CIA. There's only one CIA, and that's the United States. Back in the late 40s, the United States, after World War II, they had a CIA complex in Berlin, and they had all those radar towers on top, those giant balls. Those things were the radar, because this is before satellites or anything. So they would use that radar to keep an eye on the Soviets.
Oh.
And they used that CIA station to keep an eye on those Ruskies over there. The United States built that CIA thing, and then eventually Russia got kicked out, and then it was just all Germany, and everyone withdrew. So but the United States still had the presence of that CIA base there.
So this is a base of historical significance. Yet it's fucking covered in graffiti, which is beautiful, by the way. I
know, it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was like amazing tattoo art.
Yeah.
All over this stuff, and it was great.
The entire building was tattooed, basically. Awesome.
This is an awesome place to have a final. First, final in a city.
And this isn't technically the city.
This isn't the city yet. We're
right.
going to get to the city, but it's still a Berlin feel. It's very unconventional compared to other finals where you're just either out in the desert or out in the wilderness.
Yeah, this is on this complex. This is stage 1 out of 5, TJ eventually tells us. And he's 5 diverse stages. And this is just stage 1, this episode. And this is the first half of the MTV Challenge equivalency to the Super Bowl. This is the final. And this is the halftime report. You know, we're here to just talk about what happens at the beginning. And I honestly feel that if this is stage 1, we're not going to have 4 more episodes of the challenge. I think the next 4 stages in episode 2 is going to be this is rowing, row to the river, and then this one's eating, and then the other 2 is going to be whatever.
I want to mention when TJ is telling the rules to all this, it was great because he said every single stage we're going to take the time, and then we're going to add it together at the end, and the fastest time wins. This is awesome. This doesn't always happen like this. A lot of times,
not since free agents.
They'll have it where you get to a certain point, and it's okay, you got there first, so on the next leg, you're going to have a 5-minute lead. The next team's going to have a 3-minute lead, and the last team will start after that.
Like Rivals and Battle of the Axis 2.
And those are so stupid, because a certain team would build up a lead of 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden that 30 minutes is that only counts for 5 or 10 minutes?
Yeah.
This is great, because it's the complete accumulation of all these stages.
Oh, yeah.
So I was excited when he said that.
Okay, so this is the first stage of 5. And he says there's going to be 4 checkpoints throughout this compound. But before you do it, every single one, before you try a checkpoint, you have to do a lap around the complex with weights. And to me, this is pretty controversial. I've actually looked online and people are hold on. The weights are not in proportion at all. Girls get 60 pounds and the guys get 120 pounds. Double what the girls have to carry for these laps around the complex. How did you feel about this?
That was immediately when Cara Maria said, I picked up the bag and it was really heavy. He was like, oh, Jamie, this is 120 pounds. You take it. I'll take the one that's 60. I was like, wait, what? Double?
Yeah.
Double? And here's the reason it doesn't make sense. Well, obviously you can see it play throughout the episode where the teams in first, if you have the 3 guys are just brutally barely able to like make it with 120 pounds in their bag.
Yeah.
And the reason it's not fair is because what should have happened with the weights in the bags, it should have just gone by, hey, you're going to carry 50% of your body weight. So that way, Brianna, if she weighs 110 pounds, she'll carry 55. And then Jenna, if she weighs 125 pounds, she gets half of that. I'm not going to do the math on all these.
I was like,
but then,
you better do it.
And like Cara Maria, if she weighs like 140 pounds, she's going to get 70 pounds. Jamie, he's probably only weighs 170, 180 pounds. He's not a big dude. So why is he carrying something that equates to like 65, 70% of his body weight?
This is definitely going to ripple throughout the episode, the weight factor. I mean, you would think that the producers knew better, but apparently not. I don't know. Let's get past that because we have a lot to fucking cover this episode. So on this first lap, Mitch's strap actually kind of comes loose, and they get passed by Cara Maria and Jamie, and then Jenna and Brianna. And yeah, it's kind of fucked up that they have to deal with, this thing they had no control over. Like, it's faulty equipment. Thank you, MTV. Like, you're so cheap.
That's where I disagree.
Yeah?
It wasn't faulty equipment.
Okay.
Those bags are not designed to hold 120 pounds.
Well,
they put too much weight in the bags.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah.
of course one of them was going to break. It's like, duh, they put too much weight in them.
Well, they get passed up, okay? And it's, I guess it's just too bad for the guys. Okay, so the first category, the first checkpoint is barrel roll. You have 6 barrels. You have to just kick or
just roll it up the hill.
Up the hill, stack them up.
Cara Marie and Jamie get there first, and they just, all right, let's do this.
But Jenna and Brianna are right behind them, and Cara's like, holy shit, like, you guys are going quick.
And Jenna, she walks on an incline when she's at the gym, so she's got this.
I love that line.
It was
I
great.
love that. Because it just, to her, in life, it's either this or that. And she's like, well, I'll be able to roll barrels in a final because I've walked on an incline in the gym. It's as simple as that. And it is. For her, the world makes itself work for her because maybe the world's like, you're so cute. You're so pretty. You're so, yes. Like, oh, why wouldn't you win? You know what I mean?
In Jenna's life, like, there are square pegs and square holes. There's no square pegs and round holes. Everything just fits together. Just squares and squares. Just boom. You even see that in the puzzle that comes up later. It's awesome. She just knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a funny line. I really liked it. And it's like, Jenna's been awesome all season. I've really enjoyed her this season. She's been one of the more entertaining and impressive. I doubted her at the beginning because she was just new to being good, but she's consistently been good all year.
Right. I hope that Brianna gets some love as well.
Yes.
Right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the barrels, right? When Corey and Mitch actually get back, this is how fucked up that little strap snapping thing happens to them on that lap. When they get there, they're 2 barrels behind the entire time. So that really
And you can't blame that all on the strap, though. Like, he's trying to thread it through that thing. He should have just tied a knot.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But they're 2 barrels behind.
I don't
That
feel like
does
that was
suck.
all just the strap breaking. Like, I feel like they probably weren't that fast, but that's because the bags are so heavy.
And their bags are heavy, I feel like. No matter what you say about this team, you also have to add 120 pounds to the conversation.
To
You know
both
what I mean?
guys. So 240 pounds. Cara Marie and Jamie, what do they handle? Like 180 pounds.
Well, that's... Yeah, well, I mean...
And it's
would
like
you
every
have to-
team is carrying a different weight.
Would you say this is basically Corey and Mitch versus Jamie in terms of the weight distribution? Because, spoiler alert, Jamie is in second place this entire episode. He's carrying the same weight. Is he
That is
just
true.
straight up stronger than those 2 other dudes?
It seems like he has more endurance, and he apparently has a great coach in Cara Maria.
Yeah.
I think a lot has to be said because
he hates her as a coach. We'll
He
cover that
does,
later.
yeah.
He complains a lot. He's like,
Oh,
stop
for
talking.
sure.
Holy shit. Just stop.
if I was him, I would have felt the same way. Stop saying cuz. So they're rolling the barrels.
Yeah. That ends pretty quickly. Cara and Jamie are first, then Jenna and Brianna. Like
And then they got to pick up the bags again, and then they start running with the bags.
Yeah, the second lap. And the second lap, that's when Jamie starts to struggle. He's like, holy shit, this is awful. Like, this is bad. This is a lot of fucking weight. And Corey and Mitch, they're now on their second lap, and they have to fucking sit down, and they're like, holy shit, we're in last place.
That's why I feel like Cara Maria was a better coach. Like, Jamie never really stopped like that a whole lot. He would a little bit, but like Mitch and Corey, they would legit, like, Corey would just drop the bag. Mitch would just be like a turtle falling onto his back with the bag on there.
Yeah.
Constantly sitting down.
Mitch is saying, you know what? This is really bad, but we've been in last place before. And he's mentioning, remember that mini final that we covered?
Yep.
Where they were like the last until the end, and they fucking won the whole thing. So
just on the puzzle, because the puzzle stumped every team.
What are we going to say? Oh, okay. So Jamie does struggle on that second lap as well. So much so that Jenna and Brianna passed them up.
It was great.
Do I not love the fact that Jenna and Brianna are in first place right now and will, spoiler alert, continue to be on first place? It's awesome. But I'm like, in the back of my mind, that weight, 120 pounds, I felt like was just like, I couldn't ignore it.
Yeah, and being double, it's like, come on. Guys are not twice as strong as women. They're equal, right?
Yeah, it sounds sexist
as
shit.
Yeah.
If you're just like, no,
men are twice as good.
Yeah.
And yes, they're stronger, but it should just be half of your body weight or something like that, where it's equal and proportional and fair for everyone. I'm all about fairness, is basically what it is.
Do you think a lot of women are like, oh, you're just complaining because, like, finally we're winning, and you know what I mean?
I mean, you won't be painted as sexist as long as you articulate a valid point as to why. And I feel like we have.
All right.
It should be based off of 50% of one's body weight.
And so I'm like, I'm watching this. I'm watching Jenna and Brianna kick ass on the actual missions.
They're like this cohesive unit, and they're the greatest team out of these three teams. They seem to be working together synergistically. It's just such an amazing thing to watch how well they work together.
Yes.
And they're efficient. They just put their head down and they just boom, they go.
They do. And it's just, you know, they have 60 pounds.
Yeah.
To 120. Like, it just tarnishes it for me. I want to enjoy
there's so many
place right now.
But there's so many different checkpoints they do where they just totally annihilate the challenge that they have to do.
Very good point. So we get to station number 2. I feel like this is the thing that actually got people excited and what people focus about. It's called flip-flop. You catapult this little seesaw apparatus.
Yep, it's like a little teeter-totter.
Launch a beer stein.
Yep.
A glass beer stein.
Mm-hmm.
Into a barrel. Both players have to do this. And if you miss, you have to chug this huge glass.
Both players do.
Both players do?
Yep. And it was great. This is like Beer Fest, basically. Like the beer drinking game.
Yes.
Like, when I saw it, I was just geeking out. And I was like, oh, this is great. There's a line of beer. It's like you start with these light beers, and then towards the end, there's like 6 dark beers that just look brutal.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, you don't want to get that far. If you're that bad, then you have no chance at finishing this.
This part was awesome. In fact, I will just say this right now. I feel like this was the defining moment of this entire episode. Everything else is like, you know, puzzles, not so big of a deal. People on tires. You know, like, and then before that, just rolling barrels is like, whatever. This is probably the best part of the final. Because, you know, god damn it, a lot of the fans are probably alcoholics or have drank or have been in that situation where they're like, oh, we had to do this drinking game, you know. It's a universal beloved thing. And they're in Germany.
Home of Oktoberfest.
Home of Oktoberfest.
Even Jamie says it once he gets there. He's like, well, I'm pretty good at Flip Cup. I think I can do this.
Yeah. This thing was a home run right from the start. Jenna and Brianna get there first. And Brianna, she fucking launches it. She lands it. So, I've said this entire season, Brianna's really good. She doesn't carry herself like she is. Like, she doesn't have that confidence necessarily.
She never talks with confidence. She's like, I just hope I do okay. and she's really just kind of like meek and like, ooh,
Yeah, she
this
looks
is
away
gonna
from the
suck.
camera
I'm
a
not
lot.
gonna do good, but we'll just see what
Yeah.
happens. And Jenna doesn't like beer. Jenna's like, I'd rather have some chocolate milk, Shirley Temple, maybe some water. Beer's gross, and it was totally Jenna. I loved it.
Cara, Maria, and Jamie, they show up, and they're trying. Jamie's able to make it. Next is Jenna, and they fucking take off. And Cara, she starts throwing up. She's like, it's not the fact that I need to drink this. It's just the amount of liquid that has to go in my stomach. I can't fit this physically into my stomach. And
But the problem wasn't that she was throwing up, is that she soon wouldn't be able to throw up. Because she knew she couldn't fit any more in her stomach, and she wanted to throw up, but she couldn't do it. And then even later, she still couldn't throw up. And it was most girls, I don't know, maybe I just assumed that most girls would be able to voluntarily vomit. I feel like that's like a skill that they should have, but Cara Marie doesn't have that skill.
Girls being the poster child of bulimia?
Yes.
Is that what you're...
I mean, does Jenna and Brianna, do they have experience being bulimic and like they're good at throwing up?
Man, leave them out of this.
No? Okay. But like it didn't even matter because did they even puke, Jenna and Brianna?
No, I don't think they did.
I don't feel like they showed it. They just
Yeah.
knocked them in there, and they did this so efficiently and fast, and they were doing the most adorable thing. They're holding hands, and then they stomp down in the teeter-totter. It was such a great team. It was so cute.
So finally, Corey and Mitch show up. Mitch is actually able to make it pretty quick himself. Mitch, he's 50-50 for me. He's had some bad episodes, but he's also had some good episodes. So
Yeah, he's a rookie, and he performs like he's a really talented rookie. Like at times he really shines, and other times he kind of struggles.
Cara's crying, I can't drink anymore. Like she can't physically get it down or whatever. And Corey makes a face like mocking her, and then he continues to chug his own beer.
Yeah, he just kind of mocks her, then he raises his glass, downs it, and he's like, whatever, quit your complaining. And it was so great.
They're so funny. Like, Mitch and Corey, they're having fun. They're cheering each other up, throwing up. They're like, yeah, get it out, bud. Just fucking do it. They're like... They're not frat boys. They're just like anyone who's ever drank with each other. If you're friends, you're just like, yeah, fucking throw up, man. Like,
hell yeah.
And then we're going to drink some more and shit. And this is the final. Corey's like, hey, this isn't fish guts. This is beer.
Yeah.
Not alcoholic beer. Did we mention that? That
no,
it's not an alcoholic beer?
But I kind of expected it once I saw it because I'm like, there's no way.
I was devastated. When
really?
I realized
I knew there was no way because Brandon, he got kicked off the show for drinking a beer in the morning before an elimination.
Great point, yeah.
So I knew there was not going to be alcohol on the day of a competition.
Yeah, so it kind of, I don't know, it felt like, the tigers at the circus are declawed and they've gotten their teeth ripped out. So, like, what can they really do if they go berserk? You know what I mean?
Still maul the shit out of your stomach for sure. Just ask Cara Maria. She couldn't do it.
Yeah, they couldn't do it.
Even, like, it wasn't fish guts or fish jizz or whatever the hell they had in it last year where it was just like a big thing of eggs.
But Cara's saying these are janky, like, carnival games.
Exactly. Trying to knock something into a barrel. There's a bit of luck involved. But this isn't new to a final.
I don't know if it's...
In Battle of the Seasons, if you remember, there was the pole with the ring on it, and there was a nail on the pole, and you had to toss the ring or swing it over there.
And then drink milk.
Drink
Camel
the
milk,
spoiled, warm milk.
Yeah.
And that's part of a final, and part of it's like drinking and consuming a large volume of liquid and having to throw it up.
Yeah.
Finals always have vomit, like all the time. Like you have to be able to consume stuff and vomit. That's exactly why MTV set this whole game up. And and that makes for good TV, and that's part of it. And Cara Maria, she talks about how she trains all the time. She works out. She's in such great shape for endurance stuff. Well, come on. This is the challenge, and in the final, you have to eat weird stuff, drink weird stuff, and you're going to have to vomit. She should have been training for that stuff, too. If you're going to put in all that work in the gym, come on. She should have at least looked up a couple how-to videos on, like, competitive eaters, where they'll take, like, gallons of water, and they'll chug them to expand their stomach, and then they'll throw up. Yeah, because if you drink an insane amount of water...
I thought you could die by chugging a gallon full of water.
Exactly. That's why when they train, they have to throw it up. So they'll chug like a gallon of water, expand their stomach, and then they'll have to vomit it out.
Whoa.
And that's how they train. I watched a documentary on like competitive eaters. Most fascinating thing ever. It's so strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cara Maria needs to get into that. Come on.
Well, so Cara Maria, she's crying at this point. Like, crying. This is checkpoint number 2 of today. This is early.
She was cracking under the pressure. She couldn't do it. She's like, and I was just like, wow, Cara Maria, she's done very well this entire season. And she's just kind of laying an egg right here. Like, she's totally just like, what the heck is going on? I expected more from her. Like, her to just keep her composure and seem like she's not going to let it get in her head. Because when she's carrying weights, she's all telling Jamie what to do. And now she's having a total breakdown.
Jamie does say, hey, you were the one that told me the finals is where you're pushed to the limit. Where you're just like, this is hell. You know what I mean? And that's what to expect for the final. And she's the one that's cracking. And this is only the second half of the Super Bowl of challenges, the final, right? Is Cara Maria right now Cam Newton of the final? Where, like, she was doing so well, you know? Like, people are like, holy shit. Like, she's like MVP. She's female MVP of the season. And now she's just having this breakdown. Now the regular
season is over and we're in the spotlight of the final.
Yeah.
She did great in the playoffs against Anissa. She dominated that. Just like Cam Newton did against the Cardinals.
Right.
But now she's in the Super Bowl and she's struggling. It's not looking good. But eventually, through the stroke of luck, Cara Maria does make one in.
So they're on to their third lap. By this time, Jenna and Brianna have done this and they're gone. They've lapped Cara Maria and Jamie. Cara Maria and Jamie, they
their
get
bags
there.
Were already there.
Yeah, she's like, wait. Oh, they already did their laps?
I wish they would tell us the times on like how long it takes them to do one of those laps.
Yeah.
But they did it fast.
They did. You know, 60 pounds.
Yeah, we can harp on that constantly. It was like
after Cara Maria was like, hold on, they already lapped us, like they're, the weight or whatever. There's this little scene where she's got the weight on her back and she struggles to get up from sitting. It's like,
yeah, she couldn't even get up.
I guess Cara tweeted that she was like, I accidentally put on Jamie's weight and that's why I couldn't get up. So yeah.
Whoa! I didn't realize that's why she couldn't get up. I thought it was her just struggling. But hey, how about this? What if maybe Cara Maria thought, hey, Jamie was struggling with this pack. I work out. I can do this. This was probably Cara Maria being like, hey, I'll carry the heavy load.
Right.
So that way she can be like, Kenny carrying Wes in Rivals.
And she couldn't do it. So
no, and then she's like, oh, this is the wrong pack. She was like, I'm glad I didn't say anything out loud. It's probably what was going on. She wanted to show off, and it wasn't working. She was like, oh, wrong pack.
Let's get to checkpoint number 3.
The puzzle.
The blockhead, it's called. Yeah. A cube of blocks, third dimensional.
It was like a 3-dimensional Tetris, and you have to fit it into the board and make it all...
Make sure that they're flush with the board.
I love this puzzle. It seems so cool the way it was designed. I don't know. I don't feel like I've seen a puzzle like this.
Yeah, Jen and Brianna get there first, and they're working on that. Corey finally fucking makes his beer stein into the barrel. Like, they're so fucking behind.
And, like, the thing, you watch them during that entire beer stein thing, and they're just doing it like pros, and they're just drinking, trying, puking.
They're just not making it.
Yeah, and it was just like, they were like, we thought we were going to make up our time here.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. It still took them a really long time because, like Carmen said, it's a janky carnival game, and there's a little bit of luck involved, it seems like.
Yeah?
I don't know. It seems like there's luck involved with trying to get something in like that, but some people just have that touch, like Jenna and Bree.
But we cut really quickly to the third lap. Cara and Jamie have to go around, and Jamie's like, holy shit, 120 pounds on my fucking back. I'm looking at my feet, and I'm just saying, go. So now, Corey and Mitch, they begin their third lap. They're approaching this scenario like they've been this entire fucking episode, where they're like, oh yeah, throw the weight on me, bro. Like, let's fucking, like, this is horrible, but we're gonna get through this and shit. They have such a great enthusiasm. Like, they love the fact that they're in the final right now.
They're so genuinely excited to be in it. Jenna and Bree are the same way. They're so excited. Corey and Mitch, they're just like, yes, this sucks, but like, we're doing it and it's awesome. We're having fun with it.
Yeah, they're aware that this is completely skewed in favor to the women because they're like, we both got to carry 120 pounds. This fucking sucks. Yeah. But they're okay with making jokes about it. You know, they're like, oh, throw it on, let's fucking go. You know, they're like, oh yeah. You know, just like there's no sense of negativity. That's the opposite of Jamie and Cara, because Jamie is saying, Cara, stop talking. Like, you know, there's no animosity between any of the teams besides Cara, Maria, and Jamie.
Well, yeah, because the thing is Cara Maria is far more annoying than anyone else left on the season right now.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like after Anissa left, like, Cara Maria, she's the last annoying person. She, as much as I've always loved Cara. Like, every season, I've always been a big fan of hers. Yeah. But she is kind of annoying, and she doesn't know when to shut her mouth sometimes. And it was very apparent in this final. Like, and you see it through a lot of the seasons as well.
Yeah,
And like Jamie, as nice as he is, when you're carrying 120 pounds, you don't want to freaking hear it.
But so is that other team. They're both struggling with the same thing. They're not yelling at each other.
But let's keep in
Jamie
mind,
and Cara are.
Jamie they're well ahead of Corey and Mitch.
Right.
Like, Corey and Mitch, they're happy about it, and they're positive attitudes, but they're going really slow. They're taking a lot of breaks. And granted, you have to take a lot of breaks. It seemed like they're taking more breaks than Jamie was.
Oh, they are. Yeah. Yeah, they are.
And it's like their goal is kind of just to finish. They don't even seem like, hopefully we can make up some ground at one of these checkpoints, but we're not going to make up the ground carrying these weights. They've kind of just... But maybe that's just something they can't avoid.
And remember, this is just stage 1 of 5 total stages in the final. And this
one stage is legit. Like, it has 4 legs to it, so it's the longest stage. The other stages are just going to be like each leg.
Right.
So I feel like it's completely misrepresented by saying there's 5 stages.
For sure. And not to mention that this first half of the final is taking place not in the city as promoted. So it's like going to a Super Bowl and they're like, hey guys, we're going to play the first half outside the stadium. You know what I mean? There's going to be cars in the way, bad traffic, but you'll
not
get
just
through
the parking lot. We're going to the south side parking lot, y'all.
So, yeah, they'll have the second half in the actual stadium as promoted. They're like, get into fucking Gillette Stadium. Is that a stadium?
It is. That's where the New England Patriots play.
Thank God. All right, there we go. Gillette Stadium.
Yeah, that's where Cara and Jamie would totally play. They got home field advantage.
Oh, my God, yeah. Holy shit. Okay, so finally, Jenna and Brianna, they solve the puzzle. They're out of there. Seems really goddamn quick, and you're just like, holy shit.
Jenna, she was in charge the whole time. She just like, okay, this is going here, this is going here, and Bri kind of just watched her and let her do her thing, and it didn't take long at all.
They leave. Checkpoint number 3, Jenna has a line, don't underestimate the girl team, which is, totally right on, So, meanwhile, back on the third lap, before they even get to the puzzle, Corey and Mitch, they have to rest again. They sit down. They're like, holy shit, this is totally against us. But Mitch says, you know what? It's an honor to do this stuff with Corey. I hit the gym because he hit the gym. He's my role model. And I like that. I like the fact that Mitch looks up to his bloodline, and also informing how they are performing in the final. He's like, Mitch is saying, I'm surprised we were able to do any of this shit, because had I not started to exercise because Corey is, my cousin and I idolize him, I'm in shape and I'm able to do this. This is incredible. This is incredibly bonding.
They're a great team. They really get along. And that's something that I don't know if we've mentioned this before. The 3 teams left in this final, they all really get along. Jamie is annoyed with Cara and her motivations, but you can see them bonding throughout the season, how much Jamie and Cara really care for each other. And we've seen it really grow with Corey and Mitch, how close they've become. And the same with Jenna and Bri. The 3 teams in the final, they all get along. Like Anissa and Rihanna, they didn't really get along. They didn't make it. No. There was lots of Bloodlines who didn't really seem to care for each other, and they didn't make it. So it speaks a lot for the whole theme of Bloodlines for all these teams to really like each other and like their partner.
So does the title Bloodlines ring true, even though every team are connected as cousins, not brother and sister? You think
cousins is still blood related?
Yeah?
Yeah, you can't
Even
kiss
if they're
your
like
cousin.
third cousins, twice removed, or whatever the fuck.
Well, no, that doesn't count.
Like, Cara's like...
It doesn't, you can be north of the Mason-Dixon line. That's still cool.
Yeah, it's strange. It's all cousins. There's no purebred bloodline teams. I'm getting.
But even the
I'm trying to
sisters, like Camilla and Larissa, they were sisters. They didn't even look like sisters. Who else was there? Nani and Nicole, were they?
No, they
cousins?
were cousins.
Okay.
They were cousins. I guess Abram and Michael.
Yeah,
Abram and
they
Mike.
didn't even look alike though.
See,
they
so
didn't
you
look
can't
like either.
really. Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah. But that was the last. And
but
they were
Dario and
replacements.
Rafi.
Isn't that interesting? How they were the replacements and they were the last purebreds, to go.
Yeah, this is Abe and Mike
Purebred.
was awesome.
I don't know why I say that. Hip dysplasia. That's all I associate with purebred animals. Dogs. Abram and Mike are like, we have hip dysplasia. So finally, at the end of lap 3, Cara and Jamie, they get to the puzzle board, and Jenna and Brianna, they solve it. I don't know, did we mention that?
Yeah, they already solved it.
Yeah, they already fucking solved it. They're gone. Yeah. That's the whole thing. Cara and Jamie, they're like, wow, they're not even here. What are we going to do? They solve the puzzle, and Cara says, hey, pretty fast, huh? Corey and Mitch, they get to the puzzle, and Mitch says, I love puzzles. It's sort of been my strong suit this season. He's citing one time he had to work on a puzzle.
He's only done one puzzle?
Yeah.
But he did so good on that one, because he beat no other team could do anything with it. It stumped everyone, but not Mitch. But this is an easy puzzle, so he's able to get it easy, but so did Jenna and so did Cara.
Yeah, exactly. So they finish it, but I'm like, yeah, everyone else did. Jenna and Brianna, they finished their 4th lap, and Brianna's like, you know what? We're feeling confident. Like, we don't want to jinx it, but we're doing really good. If I were them, I would feel the same way too. And they're not necessarily saying, oh, everyone doubted us and now we're badass, or we always knew it all the time. They're shocked themselves. You know what I mean? They're just like, I don't know why, but Cara's supposed to be like the best fucking player here, but we got them lapped. Literally, we have them lapped. So we could fuck up on this future mission, which they do, and still fucking win.
They have a lot less. They only have to carry 120 pounds total rather than 180 or 240, like we were saying before.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's the way the places in first through third, it all syncs up.
But Jenna and Brianna, when it came to the mission, they kicked ass on the Beerstein catapult.
They were by far the fastest at that.
This next mission, checkpoint number 4, build the tire bridge around the building. It's like, do it. It's time consuming,
It's kind of just something there to penalize you if you screw up and fall off, but it's not super difficult.
I don't know. Jenna and Brianna, they see the finish line, right? And they're getting really fucking close. One of them takes the tire for the next thing, but they accidentally toss it just a little bit further than usual. Yeah. And they're like, oh, fuck. So they're like, well, can we hold each other and just scoot? Yeah, the scoot. The notorious scoot. And they can't do it. Brianna ends up touching the floor, and she's like, no, like that.
But then they fall down, and then it's like, oh well. Then they just start back over. They're not even upset, and they're like, they're still not even here. We just need to keep going.
Oh, Corey and Mitch finally end their final lap, and that's right when Jenna and Brianna are leaving the 4th and final checkpoint. They high-five each other. Yep. That's such a nice moment, wasn't it?
It was, but at the same time, you're competing against each other. Isn't it funner if you hate your opponent?
I disagree.
If you have Wes and Bananas and they hate each other and they're like, screw you, and one of them would say something cocky to the other one and be like, who's in last place now?
That absolutely would be proper for that match. But these people, this is an old school final. I felt like I was brought back to the old school. Not necessarily Kara and Jamie. I feel like Kara was like, listen, I've seen Bananas yell at Camilla and they won and they're stars, so we're gonna yell at each other. You know what I mean? But meanwhile,
Frank did it to Sam.
yeah, exactly. I feel like Kara is in a way like, hey, I'm a vet now and I'm a star and I'm gonna follow the script. But no, true stars don't follow the script, a la Stone Cold. You know, he's like, fuck you, Vince McMahon. I'm gonna be my own person. Jen and Brianna, they finish first. The horn's blown and they're like, woo, you know, they hug. Yeah.
They get awarded with, hey, you want to just chill out on this curb until the other teams are done?
Yeah, really.
Like,
That's
come
true.
on, you give them like a Sunny D and a cookie or something. Yeah, they finish first, give them something.
Yeah, really. Or like have the limo parked there so they could just sit in there and fucking chill out in AC or something. I don't know. Something.
Come on.
So finally, Corey and Mitch, they show up at the tire thing, the tire bridge, which it's kind of fun because it's lava. You know, the land is poison. You know, you can't touch the ground.
I used to play that game as a kid. You would toss around the couch cushions and you couldn't touch the floor. I never thought of it like that. That's great.
Oh, yeah. And that's what makes it a little bit more fun because that's what family does with each other. You know, I feel like your first fucking playmate is usually your siblings, you know. And so these siblings, either they're trying to recapture that magic or they're experiencing it with each other for the very first time. But Mitch just say, we're bigger guys, and the tire, it bends, like it collapses. Like, this is shitty for us, you know, so we got to go even more slower than Cara Marie and Jamie.
Do you remember what Corey said? The line he said? He's like, I don't care if the simple life is beating us. We're going to have our day.
That was an awesome line. Because, like,
great.
I laughed because I'm like, I get that. And then I'm like, I laughed like second time because I'm like, Corey, how do you know that show?
Exactly. Like, right as he said it, I had to pause and I was like, a simple life. And then, like, ding, a light bulb went on in my head and I was like, I remember that show. It had Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, two young Hollywood bimbos.
Starlets.
And then they...
Socialites.
And then they, you know, porn actresses. They move in, like, with this old guy on a farm, and then they just have to work on the farm with, like, this old farmer and, like, his farmer family, and it's just them, it's a fish out of water story, you know? And it basically, but it's like Jenna and Brianna kind of are Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie.
For sure, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it fits. But the thing is I really like Jenna and Brianna, and I don't like Paris and Nicole.
But, okay, so ahead of them, Cara and Jamie, they do finish. So they get across the finish line, and, you know, they're like, Jenna and Brianna, how long have you been here? And they're like, you know, not too long. You know, they're not gloating, they're not boasting, nothing. And although it's not very entertaining.
I thought it was smart that they didn't say the amount of time.
Yeah.
Because they easily could have been like,
that's true.
Oh, I would say about 20 minutes or something like that. They did not say.
Yeah, then Cara and Jamie know how much to work within or whatever.
Yeah, but I think Cara Marie and Jamie should have a fairly decent knowledge because they were up there on the top of the building. It's granted Jenna and Brianna were about halfway through the thing. They should have been able to kind of gauge however long it took them.
Do you think Jenna and Brianna had the foresight to think, hey, we should keep track how long we're ahead of these guys? So Jenna's like 1001, Brianna's like 1001. Jenna's like, no, we're counting 1001, 1002, 1003. It's just like,
no, there's no way she was going to be counting time.
Okay, so now Cara and Jamie finish, but it's crazy because now Cara's like, we need more endurance. Load me up with weight, and Jamie's like, no, I totally disagree. It's an awful idea. And then the producers ask Jamie, like, what's Cara's weakness or some shit? Like, it's completely out of nowhere, but Jamie's like, Cara's weakness is that she gives up on herself or something. And Cara's like, I didn't give up. Like, did I cry and weep and, you know? Yes, of course, but I didn't give up. They're bickering right now. It's just annoying.
Well, I think Jamie I agree with what he said, but he just worded it wrong. It's not that she gives up on herself, it's that she lacks confidence.
Yeah.
She has always lacked confidence. And Cara Maria has said that herself, that she lacks confidence, and now that she's with Jamie, now she has confidence. But you could definitely see, like in the Bierstein thing, she was completely falling apart and just becoming a mess because she couldn't do it.
So then Cara, her defense was like, hey, I couldn't get all that liquid into my stomach. I'm sorry, but I didn't give up. Had we just been running up a mountain, I would never have given up. And I didn't give up on here. So, like, so as soon as
there
ends...
is tension there, for sure.
Yeah, so Cara's like, well, I'm sorry that this was all Janky Games, Janky Carnival Games. Sorry. And it's just awful. Like, it's just, they don't like each other right now. Like, they're mad at each other, It's just...
I think they're just frustrated because they expected to be in first this whole time, and they're really just, they can't believe that they're not in first, and they're losing to Jenna and Brie.
So, near the end, for back on the rooftop, Corey and Mitch on the tires, they fall nearly like 2 times in a row. It's kind of scary. You're just like, oh my god, they have to hold each other and stuff. But they get through it both times. They finish it. Corey's like, we're probably an hour behind or whatever. So now they're in the limo, driving into the city.
Yep, and they're all just exhausted.
They're exhausted. They're ready to fall asleep. They're just like, this sucks. Sure, Jenna and Brianna are in first place, but it's just like, that weight thing, much props to Corey and Mitch and Jamie, I suppose, for saying, hey, that's just the cards we were dealt. 120 pounds compared to 60 pounds for the chicks. I don't know how to feel about that. It's not fair. I don't know. I don't want to come off as a sexist asshole saying like, oh, the only reason why women beat us being men, is because we were given more weight. And then women would be like, well, aren't you stronger, you piece of shit? Yeah. What do you got between your legs there? And I'm like, hey, like, 120 pounds, that's a lot of fucking weight. And yeah,
But it's the thing is every team should be doing the same tasks. And the fact that they're not having every team do the same tasks, it's like, okay, if you're all going to do this on time, but what if they made it for the tire thing going around the building? It's like, well, if you're a guy team, you have to go around twice. Or if you're a girl team, you got to go around twice, not just once. That's what the equivalent is, where it's like, okay, this isn't fair. You're giving different rules for different teams.
A lot of people have been saying just make everyone carry a certain percentage of their own weight.
I completely agree. Yeah. I was saying that before. Yeah. Just make it 50% of your body weight. You gotta step on the scale and do whatever it says.
All right, so they're in the limo, and it ends with Jenna saying, well, we've been doing good, but hopefully we don't have to do anything that has to do with us eating stuff. And then it cuts to her in a suit in Berlin, trying to eat something, suit. And then puking, and then that's it. There's no to be continued.
That's I thought that they showed the part where they TJ the cops showed up, the Gestapo, and they told TJ
not on the actual scene. You're talking about the premiere, like they're like next episode.
Oh yeah,
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, well they showed the blood soup with that too.
Yeah, but no. They Jenna says.
Okay, maybe not the version you watched, but the one I watched, it was all one thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right. Well, this is all falling apart. What I'm getting at is that there was no to be continued, and it was such a weird halftime cutoff point.
I thought they legit would have had like TJ come out, or at least bring him to a destination.
To their next destination, at least say what they have to do, and then cut off at that point.
Yep, and then all of a sudden, like right before he's gonna, or like he tells the rules, and then right as they're gonna go, then you stop it right there.
Yeah, but they didn't. They could have ended on the, not even. They ended right before the second half. We don't get a halftime show. Beyonce didn't show up in the middle of the challenge. Shows up in the limo to like say. Like this if you liked it. Comment if you want. I try my best to comment back. It's just...
You try your best? That's a lie.
Well, you cut me off before I said the rest of my sentence. But either way, I'm still really bad at responding. So I could have cut that first half like I tried my best. I really don't. It's just I'm really bad at responding back. But feel free to do so because that builds a community, I feel.
Community that you're not a part of.
Yeah, I refuse to take part of like peasants. No. Check out our channel. We have other seasons to check out. The Duel, Battle of the Axis 2, about 5 episodes worth of the Gauntlet. Oh, and then since this is, surprise, surprise, this isn't the last episode. I thought it was the last episode. So I'm like, oh, wow, ready to say goodbye.
I wasn't sure. I was thinking I might be to be continued, but I wasn't sure.
Well, like, I was watching the beginning, and you texted me, you're like, hey, how's the final going, and is this going to be a to be continued? I'm like, why would you ask that? I don't understand. And then as soon as it got to the end, I'm like, what the fuck? So I was like, how did you know, man?
I don't know, just something about it was like, it seems like... Well, I think I saw that there was another episode next week. I think it's basic, just common knowledge. I think everybody knew that going in if you just went online.
I didn't know that.
I knew it from the website I go to, where it had, like, the list of all the different names. The name of this episode was True Blood.
Yeah.
Which is an HBO show.
And that's... yeah, but, like, True Blood, that seems like a final episode to me. And I was going from Wikipedia. They had True Blood as like the last episode. I'm like, oh, okay.
Really?
So yeah.
Well, Wikipedia's wrong again.
It's wrong. Yeah. I was wrong. And what was I gonna say? Oh, okay. So since we have only one more episode left, and this is by all accounts a weekly podcast, what do you want us to cover in between this season and Rivals 3? We already have the Island as a nominee and the Ruins. A fan yelled out Rivals 1, so that's in the mix.
I want Fresh Meat too. I love Fresh Meat too. One of my favorite seasons.
Yeah, I mean it could be anything. You just got to list it up, and we'll try and cover that in between this season and Rivals 3. All right. So what do you have to add to this? Not too much.
It's the same thing I always have to add, not too much.
All right, and with that, we're out of here.